For decades, Lexus was the safe bet. Buy one, drive it for years, and still sell it for a surprisingly high price. It was the brand people trusted when they didn't want drama, didn't want breakdowns, and definitely didn't want their money evaporating overnight. But something strange is happening right now. Some Lexus models, especially big luxury sedans, are losing value faster than anyone expected. Cars that were once symbols of stability are suddenly depreciating like risky investments. And the question is, what changed? Is Lexus falling behind, or is the entire car market shifting under its feet? Because the answer isn't simple. It's a mix of changing trends, technology gaps, pricing strategy mistakes, and a market that's moving faster than Lexus ever has. And once you see the full picture, you'll realize this isn't just about one brand, it's about how quickly the definition of luxury is being rewritten. Chapter 1, the SUV takeover, why sedans are suddenly a bad bet. There was a time when owning a large luxury sedan meant you had made it. Long, low, and elegant, these cars were the ultimate status symbol. But today, that image has completely flipped. Buyers are no longer chasing sedans, they're choosing SUVs, and not just a little bit. The shift is massive. Families want space, higher driving positions, and versatility. Even luxury buyers who once prioritized comfort and prestige now want practicality with presence. And that's where the problem begins for Lexus. Models like the LS were built for a world that doesn't exist anymore. A world where executives were driven in the back seat, where highways were filled with sleek sedans, and where size meant luxury. Now, people want luxury SUVs that can do everything: daily driving, long trips, even light off-road use. And when demand disappears, resale value follows. It's not that these sedans became worse overnight, it's that fewer people want them, and when fewer people want something, prices drop fast. That's exactly what's happening right now. Chapter 2, the technology gap. No one wants to talk about luxury today isn't just leather seats and smooth rides. It's software, it's a screen, it's the feeling that your car is smarter than your phone. And this is where Lexus is quietly struggling. While competitors push massive infotainment systems, advanced driver tech, and futuristic interfaces, some Lexus models still feel a step behind. Not broken, not bad, just not exciting. And that's a problem in 2026, because buyers in this segment are no longer comparing engines, they're comparing experiences. When someone steps into a car and sees older UI design, slower responsiveness, or fewer cutting-edge features, it creates doubt. Even if the car is more reliable, it feels outdated, and that feeling translates directly into resale value, because when it's time to sell, the next buyer is thinking the same thing. Why buy this when something newer feels more advanced? Technology doesn't just sell cars anymore, it decides how well they hold their value. Chapter 3, the EV shockwave that changed everything. The rise of electric vehicles didn't just disrupt gasoline cars, it completely reshaped buyer expectations. Instant torque, silent driving, low running costs, and constant software updates. Even people who aren't buying EVs are now comparing everything to them. And this is where Lexus got caught in a difficult position. Some of its newer electric offerings entered the market with high price tags, only to see those prices adjusted later. That's never a good sign for resale value, because when a new car gets cheaper shortly after launch, used versions drop even faster. Buyers start asking, why should I pay this much used when new ones are already discounted? That creates a chain reaction. Resale values fall, confidence drops, and suddenly a premium brand starts looking uncertain in a space where confidence is everything. Meanwhile, competitors are pushing aggressive EV innovation, making traditional luxury cars feel like yesterday's technology. And Lexus, known for being cautious and slow to change, is now feeling the pressure of a market that rewards speed. Chapter 4, the high price trap when MSRP works against you. Luxury cars have always been expensive. That's part of the appeal. The price itself signals exclusivity, status, and craftsmanship. But in today's market, that same high price can quietly turn into a liability, because buyers today are more informed than ever. They're not just walking into showrooms and trusting the badge they're researching, comparing and analyzing every detail. And when a car launches with a price that doesn't fully align with what it offers, the market notices immediately. Some Lexus models entered the market with premium pricing marketing that assumed buyers would prioritize brand trust and long-term reliability. But modern luxury buyers want more than that. They want cutting-edge tech, standout design, and a feeling that they're getting something ahead of the curve. When that expectation isn't met, hesitation begins. At first, sales might still happen. Loyal customers, brand reputation, and initial hype can carry the car, but the real correction happens later in the used market. That's where emotions fade and logic takes over. A used buyer doesn't care what the car was supposed to be worth. They care what it feels worth today. And if competitors offer more for similar or lower prices, the correction is brutal. Discounts begin, listings sit longer, sellers lower prices again. And just like that, the car's value resets itself often much lower than expected. This is how the cycle accelerates. High MSRP to buyer hesitation to weaker resale demand to aggressive depreciation. Once that cycle starts, it's incredibly hard to reverse. Because resale value isn't just about the car anymore, it's about confidence. And once confidence drops, so does everything else. Chapter 5. The hidden cost problem. Here's something that doesn't show up on a spec sheet but plays a massive role in depreciation. Ownership cost over time. Buying a luxury car is one thing, living with it is another. Even though Lexus has built its entire reputation around reliability, the reality is still this: it's a luxury brand. That means premium parts, specialized servicing, and higher maintenance expectations compared to regular vehicles. Now, for the first owner, this might not matter much. Warranty coverage, dealership service packages, and the excitement of owning something premium can overshadow these costs. But the second owner, they think very differently. Used car buyers are far more cautious. They're asking questions like, how much will this cost me every year? What happens if something breaks? Are parts expensive? And even if Lexus is more reliable than its rivals, the perception of luxury maintenance costs still exists. That perception alone is enough to influence buying decisions, because when someone is comparing options, even a small doubt can push them toward a safer or cheaper alternative. And here's where it really matters: volume. If fewer people are willing to buy a used Lexus due to perceived costs, demand shrinks. And when demand shrinks, prices follow. It's not about the car being problematic, it's about how people feel about owning it long term. In today's market, perception can be just as powerful as reality, and when ownership feels expensive, even if it isn't dramatically, so it becomes another reason for resale values to slip. Chapter 6. The identity crisis. Too close to Toyota. For years, Lexus benefited from one of the strongest foundations in the automotive world: its connection to Toyota. That relationship meant proven engineering, bulletproof reliability, and a level of quality control that most brands could only dream of. But now, that same strength is starting to blur the lines, because modern luxury buyers don't just want a well-built car, they want something that feels special, something that stands apart, something that justifies its premium price not only through quality, but through uniqueness. And this is where things get complicated, as platforms, engines, and components are shared more across brands. The differences between Lexus and Toyota can sometimes feel less dramatic than before. To an informed buyer, that raises a difficult question: what am I really paying extra for? It's not that Lexus cars aren't better refined, they are. Quieter cabins, smoother rides, higher quality materials, but in a world where consumers have access to endless information and comparisons, those differences can start to feel less obvious. And when the distinction becomes subtle instead of striking, the emotional pull weakens. Luxury depends heavily on emotion. It's not just about getting from A to B, it's about how that journey feels, how the brand represents you, and how different it feels from everything else on the road. If that feeling fades even slightly, the entire value equation shifts, because when buyers no longer see a clear gap between premium and mainstream, they hesitate, and hesitation leads to lower demand, especially in the resale market. Right now, Lexus is navigating that delicate balance, leveraging Toyota's strengths while trying to maintain its own identity. And in a market this competitive, even a small identity blur can have a big financial impact. Chapter 7. The exception. Lexus isn't failing, but it is changing. It's easy to look at falling resale values in certain models and assume something is going wrong. But that's not the full story. Because zoom out and Lexus is still one of the strongest players in the luxury market. Its reputation for reliability hasn't disappeared. Its build quality is still among the best. And in many segments, especially SUVs, it continues to perform extremely well. So what's really happening? The answer is simple, but important. The market is splitting. Some Lexus vehicles are perfectly aligned with what buyers want today. Practical luxury, SUV dominance, comfort, and dependability. These models continue to hold value because demand remains strong, but others, particularly large sedans and early-stage electric models, are caught in a transition. They were designed for a different set of expectations that are rapidly evolving. That doesn't make them bad cars. In many cases, they're still excellent, but the market doesn't reward excellent anymore. It rewards relevance, and relevance is changing faster than ever. This creates a strange situation where one part of the brand is thriving while another struggles. It's not a collapse, it's a realignment. Lexus isn't losing its strengths, it's adjusting to a world where those strengths alone aren't enough. And during any transition like this, there will always be winners and losers. Chapter 8. What happens next? The future of Lexus doesn't depend on what it was known for. It depends on how quickly it can evolve. And the good news? Change is already happening. Design language is becoming sharper, more aggressive, and more modern. Interiors are improving with better technology integration, and electrification is no longer just an experiment, it's becoming a core focus. But here's the challenge: timing. The automotive industry is moving at an incredible pace. New competitors are entering the market. Established rivals are pushing harder than ever, and technology cycles are getting shorter every year. That means Lexus doesn't just need to improve, it needs to improve fast enough to stay relevant. Because in today's environment, even a small delay can create a noticeable gap. And once that gap appears, it shows up immediately in resale values, customer perception, and overall brand momentum. The path forward is clear but demanding. Maintain reliability, enhance technology, strengthen brand identity, and compete aggressively in the EV space. If Lexus gets this balance right, it can return to being one of the most stable luxury brands in terms of value retention. But if it moves too cautiously, the depreciation trends we're seeing today could become a long-term pattern rather than a temporary phase. The real reason behind the drop. So why is Lexus suddenly losing value faster? Because the rules of the game have changed. This isn't about one mistake or one bad model. It's about a combination of forces hitting at the same time. A market shifting away from sedans, buyers demanding cutting-edge technology, electric vehicles redefining expectations, pricing strategies being challenged, and brand identity becoming more important than ever. Individually, none of these would be enough to shake a brand like Lexus, but together, they create pressure from every direction, and even the most stable brands can feel unstable under that kind of pressure. Lexus didn't suddenly lose its quality. It didn't forget how to build great cars. What changed was everything around it. And in a world that's evolving this quickly, the brands that adapt fastest don't just survive, they define what comes next. Before you buy your next car, if you found this breakdown interesting, you're going to want to pay attention to what's happening across the entire car industry, because this isn't just a Lexus story, it's the future of luxury. Hit subscribe, drop a comment with what you think is Lexus falling behind, or just adapting slower than others. And if you're thinking about buying one right now, to make sure you understand not just what it costs today, but what it'll be worth tomorrow.